love to see that. And someone with like a submachine gun like charged him. Cool. All right. Welcome to Wig Productions. We're in Colony, New York. This is our reception area, front desk. We have some edit suites and an office for the boss man. And I'll take you back this way. They're like Grammys or Emmys or whatever you win for TV, just a little bit more regional. Our display of a lot of our history. So back here you can see a lead plaque. We used to work a lot with the U.S. Green Building Council, and so we would do leadership awards for them, and we'd put on these big stage shows with thousands of people, and it was a really big deal. But we don't do that so much anymore. And in 2009 we did this documentary called So Right So Smart. It's about sustainability in business and how if you save the planet while you're doing business, you actually can make more money. And so it's pretty cool because it makes me want to be like greedy, but I'll be helping. It's nice. And this is a nice little promotional thing. We had the So Right So Smart, the movie on the egg carton. Had that out. That was on PBS a few years ago. And yeah, we just have a bunch of books about sustainability, people that we've interviewed. Sustainability is really like our space, environmental stuff. We do a lot of that kind of thing. And this is my office, and it's kind of a tech room, no windows or anything. I kind of like it that way. I don't get very distracted that way. And we've got all sorts of gear and tools and knickknacks and wires and power adapters. And this is kind of the heart of the office. And we have interns in here from St. Rose. And yeah, this is my digs.
This is Derick Noetzel.
Noetzel. Yeah. It's German. It was changed in Ellis Island, so it's okay.
Okay.
I don't even think I pronounced it right, but that's okay.
I met him through Will. You want to just introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure, yeah. I'm Derick. Do you want me to tell you? Yeah. I'm Derick, and I went to the College of St. Rose in Albany, and one of the owners of Magic Wig, the company that we're in and I work for now, one of the owners used to go to St. Rose, so there was kind of an internship hookup, and that's how I got in here. And I got to work on a big archive project for a client, and that project sustained me for a while, so they ended up hiring me, and
cool.
Still here 4 or 5 years later.
Things that you've done?
The coolest stuff that I've done involves like traveling, and there's just so much to see, and it's kind of nice to get out because I appreciate home more when you go away and you have to go away.
Where have you gone recently?
Recently I got to drive a van to Memphis, Tennessee, and I also drove to Atlanta. That was this year. And then in years past I've flown out to Phoenix, Arizona, LA a couple of times, San Francisco once, and then more on the eastern side, I think Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Wow, there's been a lot.
Oh yeah, and like Washington D.C. We shot a video inside the Pentagon one time. That was an experience for sure.
Describe that.
I mean,
what was that for?
It was for a leadership award, which is an interview video that we will shoot. A 40-minute video of an award winner at a conference. And so instead of them getting up and speaking for 2 to 15 minutes, and sometimes people talk a lot, so we got hired to shoot the video and then edit down this person's answers into like a 2.5-minute video so that they would be played at the event and this person wouldn't have to get up and potentially embarrass themselves. And so that was what we were doing, is we were in the Pentagon, and we had like a crew of 3 or 4 of us, and we have all these like big rugged tubes and cases on wheels, and we had to go through, it was like going through airport security, but they had bigger guns, and they were like, they looked at you a little more angrily, and you couldn't film anywhere. So like my boss actually pulled his phone out to like film a plaque that was like our client's plaque was in the Pentagon. So my boss was like, "Oh, cool! They would love to see that." And someone with like a submachine gun like charged him,
Oh,
and it was
geez.
like, it was startling, but it was you know, a little on edge just because I'm not around military people much. But it was really fun. It was something, obviously, you know, I never could forget that. And right before that, the whole thing was years ago. I went to Colorado, and we got to go up in the mountains, and we were driving like a rental van on these switchbacks. Like there's no guardrail and just a big steep cliff off the side. It was another, you know, forgettable thing. These things
Nice.
happen a lot.
So what is it that you do for work?
So for these things where I'm traveling, I'm technically a production assistant, but like we just finished a 2-year long project called Brewed in New York, which is all about craft beer in New York State, and I was kind of the pack guy. Like I had all the gear inventoried, and I always knew where everything was. Charged all the batteries, and it was like when we're setting up for an interview, we'd shoot 3 or 4 interviews a day when we're on the road, and I would kind of get told how we're doing it, and I would kind of put it in motion. So it's a matter of picking the right tools out of the truck and put it where it needs to be so that we get the perfect shot and everything looks good.
What are some tools?
Some like lights is kind of a big part of it, like electric, so like running power strips and, you know, long extension cords around places, and setting up charging type things, and I'm like a camera assistant too, so I know how the camera works, and I prep it before we go. And over time, I've been able to take the footage and actually put it in the hard drive, because that's a kind of a long process if you do it right.
But we were talking about like video editing though, right? That's a
Right.
lot of what you do too.
Yeah, I do a lot of editing here, and I do a lot of editing on my own too. I shoot live music just for fun on the side, because I just love live music, and I have the materials and the friends and means to do it. So I like to give bands some nice footage just kind of for fun.
What do you like about your job?
Everything. It's really nice. I've shopped around. Like I wanted to make sure that I was making the right choice by sticking around here, and the team is so well put together, and there's so much experience, and there's just infinity to learn, that I haven't found something better yet, because the crew is that good that I can't get enough. I learn something almost every day. Once in a while, you kind of get into the weeds of things, but you just got to ask yourself, like, is this what you want? Like, this is a process. This business is a process. Any business is a process, and if you don't love the process, find a different process to like. I would say if you want to get into video, you just have to start doing it. I've been doing video for 8 or 9 years now, and I sucked a lot. I had to suck. You have to suck. You have to start, and if you don't have the money to buy a really nice camera or hire really talented people to help you make a nice product, it's going to take a while. Like, I've been using the cheapest camera I can afford with the cheapest lenses I can afford, and over time I've gotten just better at using the gear, and then you get just better acquainted in general when things happen. Like, stuff goes wrong during a shoot, and if you don't have a backup, hopefully you will next time. You gotta love it, and you gotta just do it. I've been doing it for years, and I'm still not super talented at it, but I still love it, and that's what keeps me going. I think to that end, like, I think you should diversify your interests to kind of balance that, because I have had times where I've just not done anything video related for a couple of months, like outside of my job, because it ebbs and flows. It's like being an artist. Like, sometimes if you're a painter, like, just don't want to paint. That's just how it gets sometimes.
Yeah.
And what's good for me is I like to read. I like some video games. I try to limit myself a little bit. But I also really like playing music. So that's another thing that is something that, when something else is not as interesting anymore for a moment, I've noticed that over the years, things ebb and flow, and they just
Yeah.
kind of come back
Various
around
aspects
sometimes.
of life.
Right, and I never force it. Like if there's some day where I just decide I don't want to do something anymore, so be it. I'll fill it with something else. Like it's, but like I said, diversifying. I think.
Any good books that you're reading?
Books right now that I'm reading. There's a Robert Rodriguez book. He's a film director, and he wrote a book that's like of his journal entries from when he was getting started. And it's like the best book for someone that's getting started in video in general, and to kind of see that like this guy who's a big director now, he was making home movies when he was a little kid with his siblings. And so he was editing like tape to tape, which is kind of hard to explain because I've never done it myself, but it's an old VHS kind of thing where you use 2 VCRs to edit a tape, and it's very complicated. And he edited like that in this very impossible method for years just because he loved it.
Nice.
And now, you know, he kind of documents how he found success and what his hardships were and what was good, what was bad. It's really, I think it's called A Man Without a Crew or something like that. I'll look into it. You can make it flash on the screen or something.
That's awesome. That's good information. Yeah. So this was Derick. You want to give any shout outs or how people can reach out to you? And
yeah, shout out to Magic Wig because they gave me a job for a long time, magicwig.com. If you want to email me, I'm Derick@magicwig.com. On Facebook, as long as you spell my name right, I'm the only guy that will come up. So cheers.
Awesome. Thank him, guys. Peace.